everyone, it's February 21st, and I'm here with this week's Pryde's Picks. This week we have a few books from Marvel, 2 from DC, a couple of Image, and 1 from Boom Studios. So let's get started. First up is All New X-Men issue 17. And this book is all about the new up-and-coming X-Men. You got Gold Balls, Fabio, and Ava, and all the other crew. And Cyclops dumps them in somewhere. They have no idea where they are. Some think it's a savage land. Some think they're in the danger room. And he kind of throws them to the wolves. There's monsters, all sorts of stuff. Well, one of the guys, David, decides to bring his cell phone. So he uses his cell phone to find out they're in some part of Wyoming. Shit hits the fan. The reason he's not supposed to use his cell phone is Cyclops says that S.H.I.E.L.D. can track them within 15 minutes. Sure enough, 15 minutes later, S.H.I.E.L.D. shows up, tries to stop them. David gets them out of there alive, but Cyclops is mad that his rules were broken, and he kicks David from the team, sending him away, gives Fabio a gold star, and Ava disappeared somewhere. We're not quite sure where she went, but she came back with blood all over her, and she is not happy. So I guess that's a mystery to be solved. This book was fun, not something you need, so I'm going to say read it on the shelf and buy something good. Next up is The Amazing X-Men issue 4. Now, this has been swashbuckling fun with Nightcrawler in heaven, and Wolverine and Beast and Storm have gone to heaven and hell and purgatory to find him. And we get a happy, sweet, sentimental reunion between the whole crew. I teared up when him and Beast finally connected and when him and Wolverine connected. I actually enjoyed this issue, but the arc itself sucks, and it looks like the next issue is going to suck. So I'm going to say read this issue on the shelf and buy something else. But the story as a whole, not really my thing. It was super heartfelt and touching, though. I loved it. One more book from Marvel is Dexter, issue 1. If you are a fan of Dexter, you probably won't like this book. I'm just a mild fan of Dexter, and this book irritated the shit out of me. Turns out somewhere along the series, Dexter wrote a novel about blood splatter, and like 200 people bought it. And for some reason in Australia, they decide they need him on their team, and they ship him down under. His partner is a lot like his foul-mouthed sister, except this one wants to fuck him. If you're a Dexter fan, you might enjoy this book. I would have preferred it if it picked up where Dexter left off and he's on a tropical island somewhere trying to live his life. So, piss on it. Next up is Forever Evil Justice League, issue 28. Now, this has the Metal Man. And the cover has all these people made of metal with these different looks, and I was thinking, I'm going to fucking hate this book. And I am sure most of you did hate this book. But here's the thing. This gentleman, Dr. Magnus, it flashes back to when he used these things called responsometers to imbue life into different forms of metal. You have tin, platinum, gold. Well, when it happens, they each take on a form that reflects what humanity thinks of those things. So gold is very cocky. Platinum, she's very sophisticated. Tin thinks he's a pile of crap, and he has low self-esteem. And as cheesy as it was, I feel like it kind of reminded me of Gargoyles, how they all reflected their names and their attitudes, and it was sort of likable. I kind of enjoyed the Metal Men. So I'm going to say, God, all week it's been read it on the shelf. I liked it, read it on the shelf, or steal it from a friend. But I don't know if I'm going to love the rest of this. We'll give it a shot. Next up is Supergirl, Red Daughter, issue 28. Now this book, I have not been reading, but the beginning of it shows these red lanterns, and they're flying through space, and then they're like, oh no, in search of a new red lantern. And I flipping through watching Supergirl and Lobo fist fight in like this giant mess of a fight, and I totally forgot about that. And then right at the end, she's mopey, she's emo, she's mad about everything in her life, and the red ring shows up, and she accepts it, and it looks like shit's about to get real. So I'm going to say buy it now. I really enjoyed this issue, and I was not expecting to at all. Moving on to Image Comics with Savage Dragon, issue 193. Now, I thought this was an issue 1, hence I picked it up. And it kind of is. It's a kicking off point where Savage Dragon's son Malcolm is taking over his role. Except Malcolm, he kills people flat out. There's this guy with like a baby on his chest, and the guy's like, "Don't hurt the baby." And Malcolm punches the baby until he's hamburger meat. The rest of it is him trying to blend into a new school, being a dragon, and everybody asks him if he has scales on his dick. I'm not even joking. And actually, it was kind of charming. I really enjoyed this issue. I'm going to say, I can't say buy it now, but I would definitely pick it up and read it on the shelf or steal it from a friend because I really enjoyed it. Moving on to Alex and Ada issue 4. Now, so far this series has been about this gentleman whose grandma gifted him a robot sex toy. And it's been all how awkward it is with him and his friends and family about it. This book goes a little deeper into like the little matrix. It turns out that the X-Files, along with all the other ones, have been given something called prime intelligence. And prime intelligence was what was responsible for this massacre years ago because robots became sentient and decided to kill us. So there's this giant massacre. So the government says no more prime intelligence. You're not allowed to have it. Except what they don't say is it's still in the robots. We've just kind of made it dull. We've gotten rid of it. We've hidden it. We've inactivated it. Well, he ends up going to a forum to find a way to make his robot girlfriend a little more of a person. And while he's there, they tell him that he can, in fact, jailbreak his girlfriend and make her a person. So that's where the issue ends off, with her waking up screaming. And this whole behind-the-scenes forum of people and robots working together was really interesting. Alex and Ada, buy it now. We are going to wrap up this week with another nostalgic book, something from my childhood, Robocop. Being a girl, I've said this before, and you guys hate me for it, I wasn't a fan of Robocop. And this book is an entire issue of him flashing back, freaking out, having some sort of, like, fucking trip. And it turns out it's what's going on in his mind minutes before he's activated. Like, while he's activating, all these life scenarios are flashing, so it's like a weird dream / tripping balls. And the end of it ends with him being Robocop. And I thought, that's the worst piece of shit I've ever read. I feel like it was a waste of a first issue, and for me to pick it up, I would not want to pick up issue 2. I'm going to say piss on it. Maybe even wipe your butt with it. Take it to the bathroom and use it as toilet paper because I thought it was crap. Well, this week I played Pretend You're Zizzy, and it's basically Cards Against Humanity online. And do you remember back in the day when you could play like Yahoo games and you could just jump into a room and then people would join up with you? It's like that. It's not on Steam. It's not on Xbox Live. It's something you can play with your friends for freezies. You just meet up in a room. And we had a blast on my Twitch stream. And you guys should give it a shot too. That's everything for this week. Sorry it looks a little ghetto. Stuff happens. I will see y'all later. And good night, everybody.